Yo, what's good, everybody? We got another Beers with Barton. It is Sunday Fun Day, April 28th, 2024. Just a couple more days and then we're into May, which means this year is already a third over. Crazy. Anyways, we had our fourth and final dance competition this weekend for Michaela in her dance studio. And it was an interesting one. So it starts Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We were lucky enough to not have anything on Friday. Usually Fridays are for duos and solos and some other stuff, which she doesn't have a solo this year. She just has a trio. So we lucked out on that. But the way the schedule worked out is she only had her trio on Saturday night at 10 o'clock at night. Now, luckily, this competition was close to us, about 10 minutes. So that worked out. But it was very weird on Saturday just to act like it was a normal day. And to add to it, one of her best friends and teammate sustained an ankle injury on Friday. So she had to not only not do her solo, but couldn't do any of the team dances. So you go from a team of 6 to 5. So Saturday morning, girls had to go to the dance studio, and they call it reblocking because they're dancing with 5 instead of 6. So not really changing their dance, but just the placement and stuff. The day before, really the day after the competition started. So kind of crazy. And poor girl had to miss the last dance competition, which is the best. It's one of the best ones they put on. It's fantastic. Couldn't do her solo, couldn't be in any of her team dances. Just heartbreaking for her. She's in a boot. So they did that Saturday, and then we left here about 7:30 because she had to be there by 8. It's always 2 hours ahead of time. So luckily they had a restaurant in the convention center we're at, so I could drink some beer and watch sports on Saturday night. But they ended up running behind. They didn't go on dance till almost 10:30. And it's a 3-minute dance. And then we had to wait another 20-30 minutes till they did awards. So we didn't get home till almost midnight. And then we had to turn around and be back at 6:30 a.m. this morning when the doors opened because their first dance was at 8 a.m. this morning, 7:58 exactly. So she had 5 dances today. So by the time we got home and got to bed, I think Michaela fell asleep about 12:30. It was almost 1. And woke up at 5. That was a rough alarm, but got up, made coffee. Michaela's very good at getting herself ready, hair and makeup. She does it really quickly now. We had stuff packed from yesterday ready to go, so we just packed up the little cooler and everything, hit the road, got there about 7:45. The girls went on at about 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock dance, and then had a, I want to say 9:30 and a 9:45 dance. Something like that. Let's say 8, 9:30, and 10. And then they had one at about 11. So they had 4 this morning. Got through all of them, did a great job. Placed in one of them. I think they placed 5th out of like 22 or something routines. So that was good. I went and grabbed lunch for Michaela and Jess and some of the moms and girls on the team. Came home about 12:30ish. Hung out with Potter for about 2.5 hours. Michaela had one last dance, part of a musical theater production, and Michaela's, only in it for a short period of time. I've seen it. That was about 2, so I didn't go back for that, but I went back about 3:10 and watched the awards, because they only had 1 award for today. Well, actually 2. They had all the stuff in the morning, awards, and they had stuff after that. There was still more solos and whatnot for some of the seniors and older dancers. So did that. We left there about 4:30, so Jess and Michaela were there for about 10 hours. I got the 2.5 hour break, so can't complain too much. But went back, did the awards, packed up the car. We got some frozen yogurt on the way home. Then just unpacked the car, relaxed for a little bit, cleaned up the house, started laundry, all that good stuff. Made some BLTs for dinner, and we're all exhausted. 3.5 hours, 4 hours maybe tops of sleep. Jessica actually just went up to bed. It's about 8:30. Michaela is getting herself ready for bed. We're going to get her to bed here pretty soon. And I'm about to call it myself. I just need to rinse off and crawl into bed and pass out and start the next day. But great weekend. The girls did great, especially under the circumstances. And even placed in a couple of their dances. Another one of their dances placed as well. I can't remember which one. But overall, they did great. It's the last competition of the season. And then in about a month, they do the recital, which is just a culmination of everyone does their dances. And then you get about 2-week breaks, and then you do tryouts, and then summer classes start, and it's a new season. So there's no rest for the weary, but long weekend, but a good weekend. And also shout out to the head brewer at the farm. Happy birthday. I don't know how old you are, man. I think you're, I don't know, 3 or 4 years older than me. So you're in your mid 40s, but you don't look a day over 42, for sure. So cheers to you, buddy. Hope you got to enjoy some time today. Yep, so that's it. Next week, right back at it. Monday's going to be here before we know it. 12 hours from now, we'll all be back at work staring at our laptops or getting on our Zoom calls. So, yep, great weekend though. Very proud of Michaela, how she pushed through, and the rest of her team too. Just a little bit of challenging circumstances, and her friend who hurt herself showed up today in her walking boot and hung out with the team and cheered them on. I know it was probably heartbreaking for her not to be a part of this, especially the last competition of the season. They put in a lot of work for this, these girls. They're going to dance 2-3 times a week, practicing this stuff, and then it builds up to these competitions. A lot of really good dancers. I'm no dance critique, but I can tell when there's good and bad. And there were some really talented dancers out there. So it was I didn't watch much besides Michaela, I'll be honest, but the few that I saw, there was definitely some impressive dancers. So hopefully that challenges the girls for next year. So cheers everybody to Sunday Fun Day. It's 8:45 at night, and it feels like it's 2 in the morning. I feel like I've been up for a full day. I can't imagine how Michaela feels, just how exhausted she is. But she did great today. Good sport. Held it together, and the girls did great. So cheers to her. Congrats on the, I would say, a successful dance season. It's not quite over. The recital, or the competitions, our recital comes in about a month, but they did well. They progressed and got better throughout as they went on. Maybe didn't score as high as it went on, but it's all subjective, and maybe didn't place as much as they wanted to, but still, they grew as a team, and that's all that matters. And Michaela really enjoys spending time with these girls and good families, so that's all that really matters. So cheers to wrapping up a Sunday Fun Day. Cannot believe April's almost over. So, all right, we're gonna do it. This one's called Spaceman Spliff by Sycamore, one of my favorite brewers out here. My buddy Danny Dimes actually picked this up. He found this a while ago and said it was so good. I hadn't seen it, and so he found a 4-pack and hooked me up last week. I had one Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. It is good. It's a little lighter. It's a 7-1. See what it drinks like. And also I've been doing fantasy football drafts. Dynasty drafts are a little bit different than redrafts. You're only drafting rookies because you keep your team. So I'm in 2 Dynasty and a Keeper League. They're basically the same, where you keep your team throughout. The only difference in the Keeper League is you have a salary associated with players, and their salary goes up throughout the year depending on how many points they get. So it's a little bit different. You got to work a strategy with that, not counting my big one that I haven't drafted yet, but then the other 2 Dynasty ones. So just finished one draft today that started yesterday morning, and then just started another one today. And they can go for a couple days, but it's just online. There's no time to the picks, and you just pick as you go. So, all right, great weekend. Giants won today too. That was good. Took 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. So, cheers. Spaceman Spliff 7-1. Cheers. Thought this is appropriate not only because this is only one of the only beers I have in my fridge, because I just don't keep beers that often anymore. And I knew it was fresh, but I feel like a spaceman. My head's in the cloud. I'm exhausted. So finish this, watch a little bit of the Sportages that's going on right now, because I got a couple of bets open, and go to bed, crash, and hopefully get a good 8-9 hours of sleep tonight and get ready for the week. Cheers. Congrats to Michaela and her whole dance team. That is tasty. Definitely tastes lighter than a 7-1. It's got a little bit of an aftertaste to it, which is interesting. Still very, very tasty. All right, cheers. Again, hope everyone had a great weekend. Whatever you did, hopefully you got more sleep than I did. Until next time, deuces.